Alrighty, boys, welcome into building a skyscraper. Now, I hope you enjoyed the last videos going over my stores and going over niches and different stores that I recommend. I hope that's broadened your horizons or given you a decent idea into what works right now and what I know other people are doing right now, and kind of helps you think in a longer term, think in a wider scope of potential, if that even makes sense. But today we're going to be going over the kind of like the schematics, the blueprint behind building a skyscraper, and why I think it's such a perfect example of when you're thinking long term and you're trying to build out this brand and you're trying to build something bigger than yourself that you can eventually sell. It's basically like building a skyscraper. You need to have your blueprint organized. You need to have all of the math down to a T to execute on this vision. So without further ado, let's dive right in. All right, guys, when it comes to building your blueprint, there's around like 20 things, just like you saw in all the talking points. There's a ton of things to go over. And what I want this video to be is basically breaking down all of the big elements you need to think of. Obviously, later in the course, we're going to really dive into all of these aspects by themselves and really give them the amount of time they need and really teach you guys all the information you need for each topic. But today we're going over a ton of topics so you can kind of see how each thing plays together so you can properly build your skyscraper or build your blueprint. Now, the first thing you need to tackle when you're starting this blueprint is the long-term vision. You need to understand that before you take this first step, you need to understand all of the steps and the direction that you're going to be going with your brand, so when you take those first steps, they're headed in the right direction. Now, to quickly go over everything we're going to talk about today, we're going to start with how to plan the long-term vision. Then we're going to go into picking a product, picking a name, understanding how to take over a niche, safety precautions, and the things that you need to do before you dive into making a brand, how to select a specific demographic within the market that your product can apply to. We're going to talk about crushing content, how to correctly test ads. We're going to quickly go over your AOV and your LTV, quickly talk about building a backend, building teams, outsourcing, UGC, influencers, manufacturers, fulfillment, numbers at scale, like how much money you can project to be making when you're executing on all these things. And at the end, we'll go over some action steps. So to fully get into it, like I said, you have to understand that before you take that first step, you need to know the exact direction you're going. Obviously, there's going to be times where we like maybe take an exit that we shouldn't have, or we make some sort of mistake and we have to do a U-turn or backtrack and refigure things out. But we really need to understand at least which direction we're going to go with our brand, so we're not putting a ton of effort and action into something that we're going to have to backtrack later. So keep that in mind as I go through the rest of the elements. So the first thing you have to do when you're creating a skyscraper, when you're building out this blueprint, is you have to understand what your product's going to be. You have to understand all of the elements that go into a winning product. Not all products can be winning products. And when I say that, I mean like long-term actual winners. Like obviously there's some things that'll be like gimmicky toys that can be like a winning product for a couple weeks or something, but true winning product is something that you can build a brand out of, something that can last forever if you know how to nurture it. So we'll go really in depth with picking products, but you have to understand that the product is basically the sun and the brand you're building is like the solar system around it. Like your product is everything at the start. Also keep in mind what I'm saying doesn't fully apply if you're going to go that like street style men route and just kind of like sell a bulk amount of clothes and just test a trillion different things, because that does work. There are a lot of people doing it right now. But when it comes to that, you're going to have to kind of study like Fashion Nova and you're going to have to study Shein, because they did do the skyscraper route. They did build a brand around a business model like that, but it's really different. And the main thing I'm going over here is how to build a store that's going to last. Like something like BlendJet, something like Manscaped, something like Snow Teeth Whitening, like these companies that started with these small dropshipping products and scaled into something big. That's what we're talking about here. So do keep in mind that if you want to do that street style men route or that like Rovix footwear route, that some of the things aren't going to directly apply, but it's basically the same approach that you would take. So once we found our product, we need to pick a name and we need to start kind of developing a story around that product. And we do that through selecting a very specific demographic that we want to communicate with, the people that we want to purchase our product. A really good example of tackling a huge market but doing it in a niche demographic is Liquid Death. They sell canned water. You would never think, like if someone pitched the business idea to start selling water in cans and it's going to be like hardcore metal is like the niche that they're going to go for at the start, with like all these weird goth graphics and this weird sort of advertising strategy, and they like metal and like hardcore bands and stuff is like their niche target that they went for at first. And if someone told you that business plan, you'd be like, what are you talking about? Like this is the shittiest idea I've ever heard. We're going to start a canned water company for like people that like metal music, but they are like $1 billion company within like their first 2 years of running. So It's absolutely insane. But what they did is focus on a headshot market. They focused on people that are very specific passions, dreams, desires, emotions, and they targeted to them. And then the product kind of spread from there like wildfire. And it's good if we do that for our brand as well. So once we understand, hey, we're focusing on this huge market, but we want to focus on this specific section of the market, then we can pick a name. Then we can start creating a story around our brand, because a brand is basically a transfer of emotion, right? If we think of Nike, they sell us an emotion. They sell us, oh, if I have these products, I'll be the best. I'll just do it. I'll take control of my life. I'm going to be that professional athlete. They tell stories through their ads, and they speak to people who are very motivated and self-disciplined and want to be the best. That's what they do in their ads. They're not making ads for fat people. They're not making ads for, hey, get up off your ass and work out for the first time this week. They're making ads for people that are trying to be in the NBA, people that are trying to be at the peak performance of these different categories that Nike makes products for. There's Nike golf, Nike football, Nike soccer, everything. So, and they have different departments focused on each sport. So they're very aware of what they're doing. They're consciously organizing and storytelling and transferring emotion to specific people with their specific departments to a specific audience for a specific sport. Like, they are absolutely amazing at what they do. So once we understand the kind of like long-term vision of, okay, I'm going to sell this product. Here's the people I'm going to talk to. Here's how I can resonate them with my brand. Here's the name we're choosing. Here's kind of like the color scheme. Here's the logo. And we kind of start developing that feeling around the brand. Then it's time to take safety precautions. And what I mean by this is we need to look up if the product we want to sell is trademarked, if it's patented, if there's going to be any legal issues with us selling this product. Then once that's done, we need to pick our name and then check our name and make sure there's no trademarks, there's no copyrights, there's nothing with that name that we want to choose. And don't worry, I'm getting into all of this in the next module. So now that we have what I would call as the foundation, and what's interesting about this is Alex Hormozi talks about this. He's like, when you're building a skyscraper, the first thing you do is dig into the ground. And that's interesting because there's going to be all these people, let's say your parents, let's say your friends, looking at your business and going, hey, you're just sinking money into it. You're not even making money. Or people will think that you're getting negative results because you say, hey, everyone, I'm going to build this skyscraper. And then the first thing you do is start digging into the ground. They're like, wow, good job, dude. Like, you have nothing to show for it, right? But the deeper you dig and the wider you dig dictates directly how high you can build your skyscraper and how long-term it can last and how sound the foundation is. And that was a principle I really loved from Alex Hormozi. And it's something that we need to think of as well. So everything I've talked about up to this point is our foundation. So it's really important to take it serious and really think long-term. So now that that's out of the way, we basically just need to build a Shopify store that conveys this emotion that we're trying to sell to the people that are going to be our potential customers. And we need to start crushing content. So there's a lot of ways to do this. You can be a little bit sketchy, a little bit on the gray line and take ads from different people, grab all these different videos online of your product or a product that's super, super similar and cut them up, jumble them up, mix and mash into a new video, and you can run ads that way. Or on TikTok ads, you can just directly steal ads, which I have done, a lot of people do, and it's definitely a gray line, and you don't want to scale your business with someone else's ads. You cannot do that, but low-key, you can test them for a little bit. So usually that's what they sell us an emotion. They sell us, oh, if I have these products, I'll be the best. I'll just do it. I'll take control of my life. I'm going to be that professional athlete. They tell stories through their ads, and they speak to people who are very motivated and self-disciplined and want to be the best. That's what they do in their ads. They're not making ads for fat people. They're not making ads for, hey, get up off your ass and work out for the first time this week. They're making ads for people that are trying to be in the NBA, people that are trying to be at the peak performance of these different categories that Nike makes products for. There's Nike golf, Nike football, Nike soccer, everything. So, and they have different departments focused on each sport. So they're very aware of what they're doing. They're consciously organizing and storytelling and transferring emotion to specific people with their specific departments to a specific audience for a specific sport. Like, they are absolutely amazing at what they do. So once we understand the kind of like long-term vision of, okay, I'm going to sell this product. Here's the people I'm going to talk to. Here's how I can resonate them with my brand. Here's the name we're choosing. Here's kind of like the color scheme. Here's the logo. And we kind of start developing that feeling around the brand. Then it's time to take safety precautions. And what I mean by this is we need to look up if the product we want to sell is trademarked, if it's patented, if there's going to be any legal issues with us selling this product. Then once that's done, we need to pick our name and then check our name and make sure there's no trademarks, there's no copyrights, there's nothing with that name that we want to choose. And don't worry, I'm getting into all of this in the next module. So now that we have what I would call as the foundation, and what's interesting about this is Alex Hormozi talks about this. He's like, when you're building a skyscraper, the first thing you do is dig into the ground. And that's interesting because there's going to be all these people, let's say your parents, let's say your friends, looking at your business and going, hey, you're just sinking money into it. You're not even making money. Or people will think that you're getting negative results because you say, hey, everyone, I'm going to build this skyscraper. And then the first thing you do is start digging into the ground. They're like, wow, good job, dude. Like, you have nothing to show for it, right? But the deeper you dig and the wider you dig dictates directly how high you can build your skyscraper and how long-term it can last and how sound the foundation is. And that was a principle I really loved from Alex Hormozi. And it's something that we need to think of as well. So everything I've talked about up to this point is our foundation. So it's really important to take it serious and really think long-term. So now that that's out of the way, we basically just need to build a Shopify store that conveys this emotion that we're trying to sell to the people that are going to be our potential customers. And we need to start crushing content. So there's a lot of ways to do this. You can be a little bit sketchy, a little bit on the gray line and take ads from different people, grab all these different videos online line of your product or a product that's super, super similar and cut them up, jumble them up, mix and mash into a new video, and you can run ads that way. Or on TikTok ads, you can just directly steal ads, which I have done, a lot of people do, and it's definitely a gray line, and you don't want to scale your business with someone else's ads. You cannot do that, but low-key, you can test them for a little bit. So usually that's what I recommend. If you have a product you really want to jump into, start a brand, take someone else's TikTok ad, change it up just a little bit, but keep the hook. The hook's the most important part, and try to get things running. Try to see if you can get some sales and see if this product is worth your time to like order the product from Amazon and film your own videos and kind of like really put some effort into it, because building a store is pretty easy. You've seen some of my stores. They are nothing close to impressive. So you can get going pretty quick. You just need to convey that emotion. And like Loving Surprise did convey that. Street Style Men did convey that, even though it sucks. It was basic. People knew what they were getting, and it was an easy process for them. So realistically, you can choose a product, create a brand, create a foundation pretty quick, and test it out with someone else's ads on TikTok with Facebook and stuff. I haven't ran Facebook ads in a little while. And through this process, I'm going to be restarting Facebook ads. I'm going to be creating a store with you guys as a full-blown example. And we'll see just how lenient Facebook is, because I have heard they're very lenient right now, but you never know, that can change in the blink of an eye. So you have to be careful with them. With Facebook, I really don't recommend taking people's ads. You really need to cut them up and mash them up and make them into something completely different to not get flagged there. But with TikTok, it's a little bit different. So let's say we use someone else's ad. We really feel confident about this product. We feel like it's worth investing our time. Maybe we made a couple $100. Maybe we had $1,000 day using someone else's ad. Once you get to that point, you really need to make your own ads. You really need to start working with UGC creators, which is user-generated content, UGC. So you need to work with UGC creators, having them make videos for you, or you need to make them yourself, or you need to send your product out to like influencers or friends or family, and they make videos for you. And what's beautiful about the internet is we can go search up big brands. We can go search up big companies that are selling this product. We can go search up really anything we need to understand what a good video ad looks like, and then we can just copy it frame for frame with new content. So this brings us on to the point of correctly testing ads. We need to make sure that we are using an exact strategy with TikTok or an exact strategy with Facebook that's proven to be one of the best testing methods. So we can test our ads and know that they're effective, know that our money is going to a correct place, because a lot of people some people suck, man. Like some people that go through this course, you guys are going to be creating the shittiest, ugliest stores. You're going to be running the shittiest ads, and you're going to come back to me, why doesn't it work? Why didn't it work? Because some people, I don't know, some people just don't get it. Like there's been some people that I will say, this is the exact testing strategy. And then a student will be like, well, it didn't work. I'm like, show me your ads. And they look nothing like what I said to do. So I don't know, there's always going to be issues, but you want to make sure that the strategy you're doing is worth your time, it's worth your money, and it's actually going to give you results that are worthy of your money. Because some testing strategies don't really test the product fully. So you could have tried a winner, but the results weren't that good, so you gave up. Meanwhile, someone else who really tested it could have scaled that to 7 figures if they had the right ads, they had the right kind of equation to make it pop. Now, once we're getting sales rolling in, we need to go over AOV and LTV. Your AOV is your average order value, and your LTV is your lifetime value of your customer. So your AOV is really important. If I'm selling a $40 product, that means the average order value of someone that comes onto my store and purchases is around $40. But we can do a lot of things, like you can even add tipping onto your website. So someone can tip 5, 10, 15%. That adds your AOV, that boosts it up. You can have upsells where someone can buy a product that works really good with the current product you're selling, and that can bring in an extra $15, $20, $30. You can sell lifetime warranties. You can do a ton of things that are going to boost up your average order value. And when your average order value is higher, you can pay more on ads to acquire a customer. So that's beautiful right there. That is exactly what we need. We want to have high AOVs, because when you start spending ads and when you start getting into this world of managing ad budgets and scaling and all these things, you're going to realize it gets really expensive really fast. So if you know, hey, if it costs us $10 to get a customer and each customer is worth $50, easy math, you know you can be making money. And when you have those ads, it's quite literally an ATM that every time you put in $100, you make $500 back, and you can literally just print money. So that's our goal here. And honestly, things are getting too hard nowadays to not have a brand to still be able to get that money printing machine going. A lot of people think it's just like 2016 where they can just throw up some shit general store. They can throw up 50 different products, test them all, and hopefully one of them gets them that ATM money printer. And it just doesn't work that way. You need these like one product stores. You need these pretty brands. If you want it to be long-term, yes, you might be able to get success quick, but it's going to die out extremely fast. And I truly think unless you're doing that clothing aspect, this is the absolute best way to go. So once we have AOV, LTV locked in, we're getting customers to repeat purchase. That's what the LTV is, lifetime value. So to quickly go over LTV, it's lifetime value. And essentially, if our average order value is worth $50, so each customer is worth $50, but each customer usually purchases 2 times, so we're getting repeat purchases. That means the lifetime value of a customer would be $100 because we get a $50 order, and usually they order 2 times. So that would be $100 lifetime value from our customer, which also means we can spend even more on ads because we know they're going to purchase 2 times and we know it's worth $100. We just have to wait for that to happen. So it's like a delayed attribution. So you can calculate these things, and it's important to know those numbers, because there's brands like Coca-Cola and brands like Starbucks that they could spend millions and millions on ads, and they're not really worried about it, because if they acquire one customer, it's worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on the lifetime of some dude drinking Coke all day, or some dude going and getting a shot of espresso every day at Starbucks. Starbucks's LTV is $14,600, I believe. It's something outrageous. That's the average amount that someone spends in the lifetime of being a Starbucks customer. And honestly, that number is only going to go up as this younger generation gets older, because I bet their habits are way, way worse than some boomer that's getting coffee. So it's really important to understand those numbers. Next, once we have this kind of understanding and structure built, we really need to build out a backend. We need to build out retargeting systems. We need to start working with other channels like Google. We need to have an email marketing team. We need to have an SMS marketing team. We need to have virtual assistants. And we really need to start building out a team around this brand so we can scale it. Then when we have that structure built in, your main focus is going to be content. You need to start pumping out videos with UGC. You need to start pumping out videos with influencers, and you really just need to take things to the next level. You need to start paying models to make videos with your products. You need to start paying high-list influencers to make videos with your products. And the amount of value that you get out of this stuff is 20 times more than you would ever think. So once you have a brand, once you have all of this set in place, your entire focus needs to switch to content, even the media buying. And media buying, if you don't know, is just like running the ads. Usually you're going to hire that out. You're going to hire some professional in Facebook, some professional in TikTok, some professional in Google. And it's kind of hard to find those people. So I'll try to plug people that I personally trust. And ultimately, I met a lot of people at the last networking event, so I should be able to plug you guys with some really good stuff. If you guys have stores that are scaling, try to personally reach out to me any way you can, and I'll help you get plugged with the people you need. But yeah, that's basically the name of the game. You want to create a brand, and then you want to just focus on content. You want to start scaling out your content like you can never believe. And once you're really bringing in some money, I'd say minimum like 100K a month in revenue, you need to start speaking with manufacturers, ordering this product in wholesale, and you need to customize it. Maybe your product is a big seller on Amazon. You can go look up the reviews, or you can look up the reviews from your own customers and see what's wrong with the product. What are people struggling with, and make it better. You need to improve upon the product, get custom packaging, all that fun stuff, and now you guys really, really have an amazing brand. You need to get fulfillment in the United States that can get like 3 to 5 day shipping, or even next day shipping. And you really need to start just crushing every advertising channel possible. You need YouTube ads, you need Snapchat ads, all that stuff. And usually you're bringing in a ton of money at this point, and you can work with a very high level agency. To give you an idea of kind of like some numbers when you're at scale like this, let's say you have like 50 videos made, and you know that all of these videos convert well on paid ads. You can be getting easily 10 to 20 to 30K a day on TikTok alone. You can easily be getting 50 to 100K on Facebook if you really know what you're doing and you're really crushing the creatives. I know plenty of people, I have met plenty of people at the last event I went to that are doing numbers like this on Facebook right now. Very, very possible. There are dozens of people that are our age that are doing hundreds of thousands a day in sales. It's absolutely unreal. I met a kid that did 300K in a single day on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Like, people can do millions and millions a month. It really is not as unattainable as you think. And keep in mind, I'm talking about when you have a full infrastructure built. You have the teams, you have a ton of people making content for you. You have designated media buyers that are professional, and you're really just crushing it in every aspect. Also from Google, you could easily be making 10K a day, and that's not even including like running YouTube ads. If you have some killer YouTube ads, you can probably be making 50K a day on Google alone. Email marketing could probably be bringing in like 3 to 5K a day, and that's usually like reoccurring revenue, repeat customers, and people that are going through like automation flows through email. SMS could probably be matching that with the same amount of sales. And that's not even accounting for like Snapchat ads, Pinterest ads, like all these other small little things, as well as working with influencers. Let's say you have an advertisement that went live with Kim Kardashian that day. Like, of course you're going to do multiple 6 figures that day in sales. And then you have that piece of content of Kim Kardashian saying, oh, I love this product so much. And then you keep running ads on that, and that's going to convert amazing on ads because people are hooked in, they see Kim K's face, whatever. So you can milk that video for months and months on paid ads on tons of different channels. And you can really just see how if you have a cool product, you have something that's speaking to a specific group of people that is just really speaking their language, it transfers emotion to the person, it tells a story, and you just have this really cool brand around this really high quality product that ships to people fast, you can see how it goes crazy. And we're not even talking about starting selling on Amazon or selling on Walmart or retail opportunities. And it's really easy to see how you can get into 100 million a year in sales if everything goes perfect, right? And that's the hard part, because what gets you from 0 to 1 isn't what gets you from 1 to 2. Going through this journey and actually like fucking executing on this blueprint is something you guys can't even imagine. It's something I can't even imagine. I haven't done retail deals. I know this path to do all this, but I haven't done a lot of these things. I'll be completely honest with you guys. This is a crazy journey. Making 100 million a year is not some easy shit. It's not, I'm not going to sell you guys some snake oil shit like this is going to work in your first year. You'll be making millions a month. This stuff's hard. And honestly, it all comes down to the person. The way I like to view this is me being the coach of, let's say, an NFL team. I'm not really responsible for the players. I am in a sense of organizing them, making sure they know the game plan and what they need to do. But the actual individual performance of each player is dictated on the player's skill level. Some of you guys will never reach levels like this. Most of you guys will never reach hundreds of millions in sales. Maybe none of us do, but this is the exact framework, and I'm showing you guys the brands. I'm showing you guys the methodology behind all of it, and it's possible. I know it might be hard to get stuck up on the fact that I haven't ran a $100 million brand, but I can promise you guys this is the exact stuff they're doing, and I'm here to help you guys along any step of the way, and I promise you it's so much more attainable than you could ever think. So yeah, that basically explains the full-blown blueprint. If you guys have any questions, if you want me to kind of go over some aspects of your brand, I'm going to be doing live Q&A calls, so that's going to be a good time where if someone wants to throw in their brand, throw in their ideas, I can review them live and really kind of help you guys, or you can submit a support ticket or try to reach out to the student success managers, and we can make sure to review your idea and make sure it's worth your time jumping into. Because this stuff is big. You're only going to get as far as you plan to get, right? You're not going to go 20 miles past what your plan was. If your plans are small, you're confined by those. So we want to plan big, we want to think big. And ultimately, guys, there's people that have done this. I've showed you brands, I've listed off companies that have done this. There are people worth hundreds of millions. Shein is a $47 billion company. That was their net worth last year. We looked it up and it looks like they're having some problems now, but to be in $1 billion evaluation and get started with dropshipping is truly unreal. And I hope you guys can really mentally imagine that possibility for yourself, because with anything in life, if someone else is able to do it, there's no reason you're not able to do it. So I really want you guys thinking of module 1, thinking of those frequencies, thinking of leveling yourself up, leveling up your character to be worthy of things like this, things of this magnitude. Don't let yourself get caught up in fear or doubt or listening to these negative voices in your head, or the mom and dad that doubt you, or the friends that doubt you. Let those things fuel you. And I promise something that I really enjoy, something that I love to think about, is you can always call upon your past self and your future self to send energy to you in this moment. Kind of a random thing to mention, but it's something I truly believe and I do in my life all the time. Call on your future and past self to give you energy, get past anything, raise that frequency up, and I promise you guys, if you believe in yourself, the sky's the limit. If you take action on everything that I'm teaching you here, these blueprints, these things are possible. These businesses worth hundreds of millions are made every year. Every year there's some new brand doing something where you look at it, you're like, oh, why didn't I think of that? That was so simple. That was so dumb. Like, anyone could have done that. Opportunity like that is constantly opening. This world is a revolving door of opportunity. There are always things that are leaving and there's always things that are coming in. Our reality changes so quick that new opportunities are sprouting up every second. It's to the point now where I really have the eyes and the vision to see opportunities, and it's really hard because once you're really leveled up, once your character level's high, your main focus is saying no to opportunities, because you have to stay dialed in on that vision. You have to have the blinders on like the race horses so they can't see the other horses. They're just focused in on themselves. Yeah, kind of a random tangent, but I just can't say how much I believe in you guys, how much I know there is potential out there, and I'm just really excited to see you guys succeed. So make sure you ask for help from your student success managers, from me. Jump on the live Q&A and calls with me and let me know what we can help you with. I want to see you guys grow, and I promise you with all my heart, this stuff is so attainable. There's so much potential out there, and I know you guys can crush it. So with that being said, we are wrapping up this video. Your action steps for today are going into the community group, talking with someone who just got in, share some ideas with them, share some thoughts, make them feel welcome and at home, and make sure you finish your blueprint. Set a full blueprint out, and obviously I haven't taught you product research yet. I haven't taught you a ton of things, but really get this blueprint framework in your head, because when we go over product research, when we go over these other things, you need to be mentally coordinating your plan. So keep all this stuff in mind. Revisit this video if you need to. Once you do learn all of these elements, come revisit this and make sure you're building an amazing blueprint for a quality skyscraper. I love you guys.